I've not killed a deer in 4 years. I could have gone and killed out. I could have killed 12 deer this year with a rifle. Did I? No. Just wasn't what I wanted. I wanted a older age class. I wanted to make sure those young bucks grew up. I wanted to make sure this, but this comes with age. This comes with experience in the hunting community and everything else like that. I mean, I'm not going to talk shit about. You've never hunted deer in Arizona.
I have not. That is an absolute fact. But
a mule deer in Arizona is 20,000 times harder than a whitetail in Ohio.
I completely agree with that.
It's not a competition of who's got a bigger dick or anything else like that.
Correct. It's a matter of what the population is in that specific region that you are hunting. So, for instance, if I'm here and I see I don't know what you guys in Arizona call it, but a 4x4?
Yep.
Or a 4-pointer, which is 4x4, which is actually
4-point,
which in Ohio would be an 8.
Actually, it'd be technically a 10 because we don't count eye guards.
Okay, gotcha. So in Ohio,
for mule deer,
yeah, in Ohio that would be kind of a small deer. Here, that would be a pretty decent sized deer.
Well, there's also the difference between the species.
Yeah,
you've got a mule deer. A 4x4 is literally what a mule deer grows up to be. That's about as big as they get.
Yeah.
Unless they start getting some genetic tweak or something else within them.
Or they're high fence.
Yeah. They don't really tend to grow out many kickers or anything else like that. You don't see many drop tines ever happening with mule deer. I do know of a population of mule deer in Arizona with drop tines, but getting a tag for that unit is next to impossible.
Is that Kaibab?
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to disclose my spot.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to ask you to.
I'm not going to disclose my spot. I know where they're at. And this was told in confidence to me by somebody else. And
yeah, we're not going to ask.
And it's not in the desert.
Oh.
But genetically, mule deer are very new to the landscape. Believe it or not. It's only been, don't quote me on years or anything else like that. But what they have figured out is we have had the blacktail up in the Pacific Northwest and the whitetail. And somewhere around them, one of the ice ages, they converged, and mule deer became born in the Great Plains, and then spread out from there.
Those are both small antler deer.
Yes. But if you take, I think this comes from Jim Heffelfinger, one of his biological studies. He said, if you take the DNA and mitochondrial DNA of a mule deer, whitetail, and a blacktail, you have the mule deer DNA is blacktail DNA with mitochondrial DNA that comes from the whitetail. So it's this is a whole different subject and whole, like, I'm going full nerd.
You are.
Well, I didn't know this, so please keep going, nerd.
So there's an idea that after the last ice age, when the glacial melt happened and everything retreated, they met somewhere in the Rockies, and that's how mule deer were created.
It's just crazy.
That is a theory. How true that is, I do not know. But when you have if you know anything about the mitochondrial DNA and how regular DNA works, mitochondrial DNA only comes from the mother's side of the family because it's within the egg sac. Regular DNA, it can be interwoven this, that, and the other way. Mitochondrial DNA only comes from the mother's side of the family.
I did not know that.
Welcome to the El Bubba Gumpino TED Talk.
I would have thought it was like they came up from the south,
No.
from like somewhere in Mexico.
The glacial ice, geologically, there were really no deer south of Arizona up until the Miocene era, the last ice age.
I'm really happy you paid attention in history class because I had no idea that either.
I'm a nerd.
Cheers up, brother.
I could be completely wrong on my dates and everything else.
Oh, this is going to be a giant clip. Don't worry about that. This is going to be one of my 2 clips that I highlight in this.
This is going to be the
podcast,
clip you put out there. Like, this is what we're talking about on this next podcast.
Exactly.
Like a bloody teaser.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's going to be, Gage, get your ass back in here and get that bow in here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mike!
I have some footage of him out there stalking.
She does.
Why are you trying to catch my brother riding dirty?
But,
dude?
that's the thing, is
She was.
Hey!
mule deer, blacktail, and all of that. If you look at antler size, look at all that stuff, it kind of makes a little bit of sense.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Alright.
Both are tucked in.
What do you mean, body size?
No, body size is definitely. They're blacktail and and coos deer and whitetail. They're all similar.
Coos are a lot smaller.
Whitetail-
Whitetail are a lot larger.
Whitetail grow bigger, heavy body-wise, than any other.
Not coos deer, though, right? Compared to a desert mule.
Well,
Desert coos deer, desert mule deer.
coos deer.
They're a lot smaller.
Here's where I have an issue with, and this is just genetically. Coos deer genetically are no different than your eastern whitetail. Genetically, they have the same DNA.
Same attributes too.
Exactly. But then you have, I forget what effect it's called, but the farther away from the equator, the larger the animal gets. I forget what that name is called.
Why would that be?
Heat.
It's heat retention.
So farther
A
away
larger
from the
body mass retains more heat.
Okay.
Probably retain
But-
more water too.
No. A smaller body requires less water.
It's called the Bergman's rule.
Bergmann, yes, that's it.
Bergmann's rule.
The Bergmann's rule.
That shit, yeah.
The farther away you get from the equator, the larger within the same species that same species will get.
That's a fascinating topic to discuss because when you think about it, it doesn't make sense. But when you look at the animals that get further away from the equator, the more that the more popular. So, for instance, being close to the equator, you think of access to food is plentiful. You know,
It's not nutrient.
temperatures are moderate, stuff like that. But the further away from the equator, like for instance, polar bears. Polar bears are fucking huge. They're like 11 feet tall, and they're actually bigger than Kodiak bears, which if you look at a picture of them, you think, oh no, the Kodiak bear is bigger because it's like stockier. No. The polar bear is much larger than the Kodiak bear. Same thing with like moose up in Canada. Enormous animals, absolutely enormous animals that you cannot comprehend until you see one, and then just everything else up there. But it doesn't. I don't know how to say it, but it doesn't make sense why that happens, because you would think that the
I would
animal
say predators
that
have a big deal to do
yeah,
with it, but
if the animal has an opportunity to be very, very, very well nourished, you would think that it would grow larger in those tropical environments near the equator. But then you look at the Arctic and you see these absolutely humongous animals, and
Cactus aren't very nutritious.
yeah, that's true. But I mean,
Well, here's what most people don't realize. Let's just take like growing alfalfa, for example. You grow alfalfa in the summertime, you can get 4 or 5 cuttings off of alfalfa. It's not nutritious alfalfa. It's just
makes them
filler.
look big.
It's filler. You get, just from down here, a December, January, February cutting of alfalfa. Those are in high demand because it has so much more protein, has so much more nutrients in it, because it grows slower. You think about the way the plants are, the slower the photocycle, the more nutritious the plants are.
Yep. You went nerd on us. I love it. You have an ag degree?
No,
That was pretty good.
biology degree.
bio what?
Biology degree.
Oh, biology degree.
Environmental
Gotcha.
science and biology.
You graduated? I'm
Yes.
being serious. I'm asking a serious question.
Yes, he did.
Yeah? From what school?
And you?
Let's go.
My man.
I can go full nerd if we really need to.
Dude, that's pretty good. I did not know.
No, that was
I
a
did not know
fascinating
that about
was a
you.
fascinating topic.
Wow, let's talk about photosynthesis.
No,
I'm
Oh,
just
fuck
kidding.
you.
I'm just
I
kidding.
fucking hate plants.
I was about to say, I'm just kidding. That's the only word I know in that department, though.